Hey guys, it's Sean Zinn, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is live number 80 on the year, and it's an opportunity for you to learn and grow. And it's information that I hope, and we hope, and my guests hope that you're going to actually implement and take action. Don't just listen to what we're saying. We want you to stay with us for the 20, 25 minutes. It's not that long, guys. We're not going to be here for hours, but we're going to drop massive value. We're going to give you nuggets of information that you can use today, tomorrow, next week. But the sooner you use it, the better. I want to remind you, these are all areas I can help you all with. If you're in need of anything, please, I'm here to help you grow your business. Again, my number one business is insurance, but I'm here to help with any problem that you have, providing solutions to those problems. And the last thing, definitely check out webtalk.co/connection machine. It's a platform that actually pays you for socializing and networking. Why not get involved with it? I want to get my guest on right now. Without further ado, what's going on, fellas? How are you?
Sean Zim, the Connection
What's
Machine.
going on, Sean?
Thanks so much, guys. The Sam squared, man. This is going to be awesome. We're going to drop some massive value.
Yeah.
So let's start off with an introduction. So let's start with Mena and just go into who you are, who you work for, and what do you do?
So, dear guys, I'm Sam the Lion Mena. I am a real estate agent, team leader, and team mastermind for our real estate wealth advisory group at Home Smart First Advantage here in a beautiful Bloomfield office. I'm actually in the Clifton office today. I've been in real estate for a few years. I'm very excited. Thank you so much, Sean. We did a live back in the inception of Connection Machine, and man, how this thing has grown. How all businesses have grown, in connecting with other individuals and being on here. And listen, I remember for just doing a YouTube down in your basement with having a couple of beers in the nighttime, to now we're doing this and we're going full streaming. This is exciting, man. I'm proud of what you're doing, and I'm really excited to be out here. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. And now I'm going to botch it. Hamedanchian?
Hamedanchian.
Hamedanchian.
I'm used to it. Yeah. So my name is Sam Hamedanchian. I'm with eXp Realty. Started real estate sales when I was 18, straight out of high school. I'm just out there looking to share my journey, inspire some people, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
Awesome, guys. So this is going to be, a good volume of just information that we can share with people that I always say I hope that they're going to implement and take action, because people go and listen to things. They might read books. They might go to webinars, and they leave. They're all pumped up, and then they don't use anything. I hope that people take information and use it, because the more you're using it, the more it becomes a habit. So it's important that we all grow, and we just went through 3 months of quarantine, and I've picked up many skills, and I've been improving on skills, and I've been trying to make myself a better person. Even on the physical, I'm into more health now as far as my fitness game. So it's just something, and people are like, why are you putting this out there? Because it's important to share, because everyone has to learn from your journey, but also see what you're going through. And it's a conversation piece. And it's just not me sitting here, use me for insurance. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. And if you want to get involved with it, they get involved with it. That's the important thing. And it actually creates my personal brand. And that's why I want to talk about our branding and how we've got to where we are. I mean, Sam H has been in business for a short period of time, right? How have you developed yourself to make your brand currently today?
I think it all comes down to, like you said, taking action. I think, when I was in high school, I ended up actually reading more self-help than my textbooks, but I think there's also a major problem in the self-help industry where people get almost addicted to self-help and they think they're doing something good with it. But yes, it's better than video games or Netflix and all that stuff. But if you just end up consuming content and not actually using it, you're in a weird spot. So I think it all comes down to just taking action. If there's one thing that real estate sales has taught me, it's you can't teach a kid how to write a book in a seminar room.
That's good.
My first My first cold call was by far the scariest one, but now I'm this week actually I'm considering doing a live where I make 1,000 cold calls in one day, just for fun. So when I first started, I would have never in a million years thought I'd be able to make 1,000 calls in one day. So it's just all action, absolutely nothing else. I've learned much more from and practicality than anything else.
No, it's so key as far as having that action, being consistent is how you're going to develop something over time. And if you are that consistent thing, you're putting out into the world things, they're going to understand that you're a real human being. You want to give first before you receive. And that's how I've learned, is to continue to promote, continue to connect so that it just comes back to us. Sam, Mena, let's talk about your branding, man. You have developed your own brand as well.
Yeah. Well, it all started a little different than Sam H. Obviously, I've also been in the industry for a short period of time. Actually, my industry was built on social media. Pretty much, I came into this business with no expectations of what it was to be in real estate. I came from the IT world, and my whole business was totally different. I mean, I'm dealing with Fortune 100, Fortune 100 companies, where I'm going there and pretty much telling them, you either buy my stuff or you're gonna lose millions of dollars. That's a totally different story here. And in my first year, no one told me that you don't get leads. No one told me that you don't get anything from there. So I had to use everything from my past and really put into play. I come from a background, so being Mexican American and seeing my father, come here and build his business from the ground up and, build $1 million company. It showed me something. There is a little bit of truth to the old school, but there is a lot of new school we need to add into it. And that's what helped me build my brand. At this point right now, it also became things that clicked. At first, I even represent myself as Sam the Lion Mena. My business cards say Sam the Lion Mena. And it's because the lion has become a very significant part of my brand itself, both the mantra itself and the logo. Being the fact that, a lion itself, is there a lion there that I see in your arm?
Yeah.
My man. So the lion itself, it goes back to even the way my fundamentals are with my team. A lion is the king of the jungle, so he's the king of his team in essence, right? But he's the one that doesn't hunt in the pride when he's the king. The people that actually hunt are his pride, right? But when the food gets brought back, he's the first one that inspects it, but the last one to eat. That's the same way I do with my team. I make sure that whatever's coming in, I'm the last one to touch from it. Make sure that my team eats first. But the best part about a lion is that a lion outside of a pride, when he's alone, still knows how to hunt by himself. So that's kind of the way my mantra has been. And if you notice, everything I wear is my brand. I mean, from my hats to even my masks. I have T-shirts made, and people ask me, that's crazy. Like, why do you do that? By the way, I do this all myself at home. I have a cricket machine that I bought for my wife. But it's for my wife, but I've even built a business about it, right? So everything's about branding. I remember one time we talked in the beginning, you're like, hey, Sam, how are you getting your clients, your leads, right? I was like, because I'm always at Starbucks, which, by the way, I always have a Starbucks because as a stockholder, I make sure I'm buying into the stock that I'm using, right? So I used to carry this a lot, right? With my laptop, and I had my brand on there. Then I had a little tripod that what my old broker gave me, and it literally was like a little plastic thing that says, a real estate expert, ask me any questions. So in reality, I wasn't really promoting myself. I just had a little plate that said, ask me questions. I'm here. And I just started having, literally, my office became a Starbucks. So people were just sitting there asking me questions, and that's how my business grew to the point where I walk into that Starbucks and people still ask me about certain things when it comes to real estate. And going back to what we were saying before we jumped on, I really took something from my first mentor, was that I take me with me, not the company. This is a new brokerage I'm a part of, but I will tell you, it took me some time to get to this brokerage, which I fell in love with. But at the end of the day, it's my brand that follows me. No one knows that I switched to another brokerage, because at the end of the day, it's my brand that follows me. It is Sam the Lion Mena. It is Real Estate by Sam. It is Real Estate Wealth Advisory Group. That is what are encompassing on that. And that's where we're going. And to tag along a little bit, Sean, what you were saying before about what you do for your lifestyle now in wealth. It's kind of what we started developing at REWA. Real Estate Wealth Advisory Group, our whole consortium is built about not only just real estate professionals and bankers and mortgage people, but it's built about how wealth really means, right? How can you be, making $1 million a year if you're 400 pounds and about to have a heart attack? So we have an actual fitness coach as a part of our consortium. How can you be a millionaire and have marriage problems? And listen, I speak to this, and I'm very vocal about and transparent about my past. A year ago, my marriage was crumbling. I was making very good money, but my marriage was crumbling. And it wasn't until my wife sought help. After we had a separation, she sought help for herself, and I was just so stubborn about going to do it. And then, obviously after seeking marriage counseling, I see the benefits of it. And I'm not saying that, everything has to be a perfect alignment. What I mean, it has to be a balance in your life. Every aspect of your life has to be wealthy. What does wealth really mean for you? And that's what we're trying to be there. So our consortium is not just mortgage bankers and stuff like that. We have life coaches, personal life coach and a professional life coach. We have financial advisors. And that's what our brand has become, to the point where people ask us, hey, do you have someone you can rent that does, physical therapy or something like that? Yes, we work with people like that. Business loans and all that. We have put it into what our company is, as one, almost like a one-stop shop, but in reality, to teach and build wealth for generations.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's important to have those connections and be that resource to your clients, your team, your family, your friends. And I appreciate you sharing that personal, your journey and what you've gone through in your personal relationship, because that's what's important, to be authentic and transparent with everyone in the world, because everyone's gone through it. I went through a divorce and it keeps on coming back, because I have a daughter from that previous marriage, and I'm back and forth with courts. And some of those that know who I am, I talk about that. And I talked about my daughter having a liver transplant. I May 10th last year, and our journey that we've gone through with that. Both my parents had COVID. I talk about that because these are things that will develop conversations. It's not about selling all the time. It's all about connecting, getting deeper, using your emotions. And I love it that you're involved with that, your group that encompasses a variety of different, resources. And I know Sam H he's got a group he's been working with Chuck, right? You want to talk about that group?
Yeah, so we run the Creative Real Estate Club. It's a real estate group where we teach people how to invest, wholesaling, buy and hold, fix and flip, whatever it is. We're there to help. It's absolutely free to join. And again, it's just all about just taking action and doing it, getting steps, getting there, finding homeowners, and like you said, connecting with them on a personal level. We're not just going there, hey, I'm here to buy your house, or hey, I'm here to sell your house. It's getting to know them. Why are we in the situation we're currently in, and how can we help? That's basically our whole value proposition. It's whatever you need, we have the solution. Anyone in pre-foreclosure, as long as they're in a fixable situation, I'm 100% confident that we can be the ones to help them out.
So this is a massive
That's
merger, right now that we're in this conversation with each other, because both Sams have expertises and then all three of us merging our ecosystems. It's like, that's how we're a resource, and we keep it, like you said, one-stop shop. Anyone that needs something, you have opportunities within our little circle that we have just right now. That's how powerful this is. But people say, oh, I can't collaborate with other real estate agents. They're my competition. That's complete BS, because you all are going to be working with each other at some point on transactions. And don't you want to know, like, hey, I need this deal to close. We both want to get a paycheck. How you can massage and make that deal happen. How important. Let's talk about open houses. And I know this is changing as far as because of the COVID. Do you see it an important thing to have as far as marketing a property, or is this something that you like doing? Is there any tips and tricks that you can share that you personally do in about two minutes? Let's start with Sam H first.
So open houses are a great resource. It's a great opportunity to attract a lot of potential buyers that are looking in the area. One tactic that I use on almost all my listings prior to coronavirus is we do a delayed showing period where there is no showings allowed. up to 10 days after the property is listed. So I'll list it on, let's say, a Monday or Tuesday in a perfect world, and have an open house Sunday, called a mega open house, actually. And if you're priced correctly and it's marketed correctly and it's in a desirable town, I will get 30, 40, 50 people into that open house on that one day, and I'll sell the house on the spot.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Sam Mena.
And
Oh, sorry. You
No,
want to continue?
yeah. Sam has something else. I was like, I saw him.
I know.
Yeah, no, and that works in a variety of markets, regardless of the price range. I've done it on 250K in Elizabeth, and I've done it on 900K in North Caldwell. So works on everything as long as you take the right steps.
And how are you marketing that mega open house? Are you sending out? Do you do a lot of advertising as far as newspapers, or is it just all social media?
So after coronavirus, I started doing specifically New York City, because as we know, there's going to be a lot of people getting out of the city. My father's actually a New York City commercial broker, and I had him retire because of how bad it is there. So, I mean, I do ads directly to New York City in a 15-mile radius, Manhattan, right in the middle. But prior to COVID, it was just 15 to 20 miles outside of the house, because usually that's going to be where your buyers are at.
Massive value right there. Thank you very much for sharing that one. Mena, same thing as far as open houses.
So obviously, right now, I do less open houses than usual. It's more to teach that team. Obviously, when you're very new in the business, you try to get out there because you get all those free leads, I say, right? But what I like to do is I like to do videos prior to it, and that's one of my biggest things. It's not just about that open house for me. It's about setting now a precedence of who I am in the town, right? So what I usually do is a lead up. Like I'll go to a pizza place I'm going, hey, listen, and I'll throw in that I'm doing an open house, or I'll go down to the waterfront and show, doesn't this waterfront look nice, or a park, or whatever it is, because now I'm building a I'm building a story behind it. I use a lot of the Grant Cardonisms, I guess, right? Build a story before you sell the product, and that's kind of what I do. So I build up my open houses. I tend to only do very, very few open houses now, more because I give it more to the team itself. But in itself, I do every aspect of open houses, of marketing, between Facebook ads, Instagram ads, as well as traditional mailers. I will send postcards as almost like a private invitation to the surrounding neighbors. Why? Because neighbors want to know who's going to be moving in. So actually, you know what? I call it obviously it's the Jones effect for a reason, right? They all want to know what the Joneses, how they lived inside there. So they want to go in there and take a sneak peek. So I'll sometimes do it, depending on the neighborhood I'm also working in. Sometimes what I'll do is have a neighborhood party where I invite the neighbors in so they can kind of, see what it looks like. Maybe they'll find a family member that's looking to buy, something like that. Even if they don't end up buying there, I'll get at least 1 or 2 leads that will then in return go there. Hey, I may even find out one of them is selling. One of the tactics that my first broker told me was he would always go the Friday before, knock on the doors and say, hey, listen, the open house is at 2:00, but between the hours of 12 and 1, I'm gonna hold something for just the neighbors. I have light refreshments and stuff like that, so you guys can come over and take a look at the house. So if you have anybody else that you're looking to move in there, it'll be amazing. This way, most of them are just going for the free snacks and the free stuff, but at least you get some more traction and you start building up the names and you build your pipeline, right? Because it's all about going back to them. Eventually, you sell that house, they're going to want to sell their houses and find out the value. So those are some of the tactics that I use when it comes to open houses.
I think that's massive as well. And those that are paying attention, you should be writing stuff down, because these are things that you can use this weekend if you really wanted to. You could start advertising and do a mega open house. I always say get as many signs out as possible. Weichert is all about that sign thing. So buy your own stuff. Oh, wait, I have to buy my own thing? Yes. Just like Sam Mena is like, you want to be your own brand. I don't care. Like he said it. I don't care who you work for. In April, I moved to a different insurance broker, and people don't even know I even moved, because I don't even talk about my company I work with, because it doesn't matter. It's who you're going to buy stuff from me, not from my company I was with. And people are like, wait, you moved? I'm like, yeah, there's a transition. I know how to just streamline everything because it's about me. It's not the company. But if people go to a certain company, oh, I'm going to get leads. Oh, I'm going to get all this money. I'm going to make all this. And they sit in the office. They're order takers. They don't make 1,000 phone calls. They're going to just sit there and hope that their phone rings. And I've never, bought leads before. I developed my own leads. I've done my video. I made my phone ring because it doesn't work that way. I know how important leads are for our businesses. We have to be talking and having conversations. It's so important today.
Yeah.
Listen, even even to go so people don't know, my wife is in title, and now she's in title. So even for her, even the connections I made with her for other people, she's still going out there. She had a connection. She was a bank teller for PNC Bank in 2008 to 2011. The now vice president of like the mortgage, like the refinances of PNC Bank of this region was her original boss. So she was able to make that connection. So it's literally about you branding yourself. Sam, you could agree to this. Listen, there's going to be EXPs, there's going to be KWs, Home Smarts of the world, and there's going to be boutiques. You know how many brokerages fail within the first 5 years? And they brokerages will go, but if you are truly standing to your name and truly about your brand, about your business, then stick around. Listen, I tell people this. I don't like the fact that what we were going through right now as a pandemic, but in our market share, I believe that it was bound to happen, because it was going to correct the many people that are getting their licenses that are not truly about this business, right? There's, statistically speaking, in our beautiful Realtor magazine that we get every month, statistically speaking, there's about 10 million realtors a year, and only literally 80% of them make it sell more than one deal. I mean, sorry, less than 80% of them sell more than one deal a year, right? Then we're talking about there's a 2% of those 10 million that actually make it past 5 years and actually are successful. Let's think about that. In Jersey alone, we have so many people getting their licenses, but some of them are referrals of part-time agents selling 1 or 2 deals. Or hey, they have that great year where every single person in their family and friends are buying, and then year 3, 4, 5 they sell 1 house and they go to part-time. Right now is what I tell people. This is where you separate, and I'm sorry to use this phrase, and I'm not trying to be in any way sexist, but this is where you separate the boys from the men, right? Yep. Because it's no longer a game. We weren't getting unemployment that easy, and some of us still haven't gotten it. Some of us didn't get those stimulus checks. Some of us didn't get certain fees or certain money's coming to us, but we still have to feed our families. And you know what fed my family? The fact that I built a brand. And that's probably the same thing that fed Sam's family, Sam H's family, is the fact that he built a brand. He built consistency, banging them phones. It's just who he was, right? When people are there, hey, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. I know things are going tough. Let's see what we can make you more money on. I know you can't pay your bills right now. Whatever it is, like it's consistency. It's what he's been known to do. It's what he's been triggered. You can't teach work ethic. You know what I mean? That's one thing you can't teach. You can't teach someone how to build a brand or brand themselves. You can tell them how to do it, but you can't teach them what to do every single day if they're not going to do it themselves. You got to be willing. Sean, I mean, I didn't know you switched to an insurance company, but all I know you as an insurance doctor. Bro, I think that you own the insurance companies. That's what I thought. I'm like, this guy over here, like,
right.
And that's I got to know you as an insurance doctor. I remember the beginning it was just your lab coat and it said insurance doctor.
Yep.
That just stuck out to me. And we weren't even friends when I first met you over the phone. It was just something by coincidence that we got connected. And I mean, it just blew up from there. For the different people that I've met through our connections and the different conversations I've had, it's just. Like look, what we have the public house
yes.
Lunches, those networking things. I've met individuals there like that I didn't even know lived around the corner from me, like Stan lived around the corner from me. This man, so it's so cool to do this, and I tell people this: build your brand from the beginning. My baby sister is 19 years old and she wants to do this, do that. She's like, I want to do this with nails, and I was like, all right, build your brand. Your name is Jacqueline. Build the Jacqueline's brand. Because you know what, Jacqueline? You want to do Jacqueline's nails, let's say. But what if your nail business dies? So does your brand. Yep. So make it a brand that's about you, man. It's got to be about you. Sam the Lion is going to go with me, whether I'm selling 14 houses now and then I'm just a full-on investor sitting on investment properties. It's still going to be Sam the Lion. Why? Because that's just the brand I built. Right.
Now, Sam H., how is your day? Are you a reaction type of guy? Or are you somebody that has systems in place? Maybe you have time blocking. You do certain things in the morning, or maybe you don't. If there's like non-negotiables that you have as far as your daily schedule.
So I mean, the only real non-negotiables I got are I gotta walk my dog because he's gonna.
Priorities, baby.
Yeah, he's gonna abuse my house if I don't. So I gotta walk him first thing in the morning. And other than that, I work from home, as you could tell. I got the closet in the back, other side. So there's certain things I can never really fall into. Like I can never not work, or else I'll fall into traps. Like if I start playing video games at noon, what if I do it tomorrow? What if I do it the next day? What if I do it the next day? So I have to be very disciplined about 9 to 6, 7, 8. I'm working, and if I want to do something fun, it's got to happen at night. And it's just honestly, I just sometimes, I mean, my phone rings, I get referrals, which is great, but there's never enough business. And whenever there is, like I was at a point 2 months ago where I had 6 listings, and I was like, oh my god, this is too much. I can't even handle this. But once I really look back on it, it's really not, answering a few phone calls, answering texts. So I was still out there generating leads, and thank God, because now I've got a really good pipeline, and I'm never dry, and I never will be again because of the things I can do. I mean, I can literally, if I want a listing tomorrow, I'll just make 1,000 calls from 9 to 5. Like it's not that hard. So once you get into that groove, you can't really be stopped. Especially if you're going to be working from home, you can't get out of that groove. You cannot, because
Yeah.
the second you do, you're going to fall out, and a week's going to go by, 2 weeks are going to go by, and it's ridiculous because we all do it. We're all human, but at a certain point, you have to be self-aware enough to understand that it will happen and just not let it happen to you.
I'm happy that you said that as far as you getting all those listings. A lot of people say, oh, I'm so busy. I can't continue marketing. I can't try to keep lead generating. You have to. That's the time you have to do more of it, because when you sell these puppies, boom, now what? And that's the problem. You have the ups and downs, and that's why people get out of here in the real estate world or any sales business. You got to keep feeding the pipeline, no matter what, how busy you are. Because it's funny. I start doing every call I do now, because we don't really meet many people face to face. I'll do a picture on the Zoom call or a StreamYard call or on my phone, and I'll do a post. I just had a connection call with so and so, because you're proving you're working. Instead of, you talk to any salesperson, how's everything going? Oh man, I'm crushing it. Even though they have nothing coming in, they're broke. It's like you're
They
a
haven't closed in
liar.
4 months.
You haven't done anything. So it's like you're lying to yourself. So it's always that's top of mind. Definitely keeping that lead gen, no matter how busy you get. And I appreciate you saying, yeah, you work out of home, and you're all about the phone, and that's not everybody's gig, but that's something that works for you, and that's why you keep crushing it. If you got to do 1,000 calls, you'll get that listing, because you're just doing the power of numbers. How
Yeah.
is your schedule like, Sam Mena?
Can I just add something to Sam H? Sam H, you know the one thing people don't. I don't know how young you are. You sound like you're fairly new and you're young in the business. I will tell you this: in about 10 years from now, when you're from when we're looking now, I'm gonna look back at your young self, and I'm gonna be like, "Damn kid, you did it!" Because not for nothing, that's one thing that's the hardest for people to do. Sean, you just said right now about banging the phones. I hate the phones, but I do it because it's part of what I have to do, right? It's part of, there's a book that I would suggest you all read if you haven't read it. It's called Chop Wood and Carry Water. It's a small little book. It is a phenomenal book, but it would teach you exactly what you do. Do the things, or the other one is Eat the Frog, because they are things that you do not want to do. You just got to get it over with, right? So going back to my schedule, one thing I do not like to do, I do not like to work out. Even though I talk about it, I don't like to do it because then I feel like it's time to. Once I do it, I feel amazing. But I also get a constant reminder. I was 400 pounds in 2017, right? I used to weigh 400 pounds. I wore a size 60 pants. I was a 58 jacket. Like I remember this. I still have a jacket there to remind me, like, you could fit two of you in here now. So that's why I go and work out. So that's one of my go-tos to start my day. People say, oh, I like to work out at night. I can't, because by that time it's easier for me to kind of relax and not do anything. But I'm very adamant about, getting out there, whether I do a 10-mile bike ride, or I go do a quick jog or something small. I did a couple of challenges where we're doing jump rope. So I do a small little workout in the morning, just to get my day going. But one of my main things is, and Jim Ellick, I know, doesn't have a Facebook, so he won't be able to hear this one. But this is a Jim Ellick-ism, and Mr. Ellick is a 50-year-old 50-year-old brokerage that he has in Woodbridge, New Jersey, my first broker. And he told me this: every morning I wake up unemployed, and I don't come back to my house till I am employed. And that's exactly how I live my life. I'm unemployed right now until I go and I do 1 A time. He says that as long as you do 1 A time a day, you will get it done. So I make sure I break down my day to at least have 1 A time, which is whether it's one listing appointment or one new showing, but it has to be new. It can't be the same person going to there and just to fake myself out. It has to be one new listing appointment, not a listing call or an appointment where I'm getting to sign the documents, or one new client that I'm showing a house to, not the same client I've been showing the last 50 houses to. And whoever's listening to this and taking notes, be real, because the only person you're faking is yourself. Right? You're not faking anybody else. When you're in this business, or you're in any type of sales, or you're a self-employed business, you're only faking yourself. And that's another thing he told me, is that, no one tells you what to do in this life. No one gives you a handbook in the first day of real estate license and say, hey, here's what you need to do for the next 30 years of your life. They'll do the same thing when you become an insurance agent. I remember, because when I went to get my life and health, I got it. I'm like, all right, now what I do? And I'll tell you right now, I did nothing with it because I didn't know what to do with it. I have my licenses, but I don't do much with it, right? Mm-hmm. But and that's kind of what it comes down to. I'm very bad at this, but I started doing it now, because my wife keeps telling me that I'm very disorganized when it comes to this, even though I'm the most OCD person you will meet. My wife hates that about me. I'm very OCD. I could say that, and just craziness, but I'm bad at my to-dos. So I started doing a to-do list every single night, so I know what I'm doing the next day. And guess what the beauty behind it? Now I have every Mac product, every Apple product possible. So now they're all integrated to itself. So if I have to put it on a sticky note on my Mac, it'll go to all my other devices. And it's because it's very easy to get caught up in the funk. There's another word I use for it, but get caught up in the funk. It's very easy for that, guys. And Sam, you probably realize it. Sean, you're probably going through it. Life hits you, man. I'm a father of a 9-year-old. Sometimes life hits you. They get sick on you. You have to go to the hospital, to the doctors and stuff like that. It keeps up on you. Then you're 2 weeks later, and you're like, oh, damn, I'm not going to close anything for the next 2 months because our cycles are so long, right? I admire you, Sam, that no matter you didn't stop at 6 listings. They're like, you know what? I can technically sit on my ass. I'm sorry that I said that, but sit on my ass for the next, 2 months because, even at the smallest, I don't have to do any work. I just sit there and collect the contract. But and it's easy money. You could have made $100,000 in those 6 deals in theory, right? And done nothing, and really made almost all profit. But guess what? What if they would all? I told you this. What if it all dries out tomorrow? Mm-hmm. What if all six listings sell on the market for the next 6 months?
Yeah.
What are you doing now, right? And my favorite quote is from my football coach. He goes, "And how you gonna eat?" That's what you said. How you gonna eat, boy? How you gonna eat? And it's how you gonna eat. Keep going. I right now have 42 active buyers clients. I am overwhelmed beyond belief. But I told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna have to hire an assistant. And she goes, okay. I was like, that's a good problem, she says to me. And you know what, Sam, H, you're about to get to the point, and I see this in your life just by the way you talk, right? It's gonna get to the point where you need to have 2 assistants just for you in your book of business. And that's a good problem to freaking have, bro. Because guess what? It's gonna come a point where you teach them how to make 1,000 calls and you reciprocate what you know how to do. What the funny part is? Sam doesn't know this, but a lot of the way I built my business, the whole real estate wealth advisory group, and other people have built their machines, all stemmed down from the way Sean started the connection machine. And you can see other similarities to it in other people's groups, but it all comes down from one person now is reciprocating. You know how big that web has gotten that he threw out there? I mean, if he really wanted to collect all of our groups together, he probably has a network of over 1 million people. So it all starts with one thing, and reciprocating yourself. That's the one thing I've learned from all those self-help books that we read as young kids. Man, you hit me really bad, Sam, because you said what's so good about reading self-help? It just becomes toxic if you know all the knowledge and don't implement it. Well, this is how we implement it. Guys, if you're listening to this and taking notes, stop taking notes and not doing something about it. Stop filling notebooks and not doing anything about it. Get up, look what you wrote down, get up, go back to it and do it, because that's the only way you're going to succeed. You've seen people like us working and grinding. You know what the best part about it? Right now we're doing this. We are literally taking time off our day because we want you to be empowered. And guess what? We could be making 1,000 phone calls, door knocking and doing stuff like that. But we want you guys to see that we have the flexibility and the time to do this. So can you. And we just hope that you're successful. That's all I really do.
No, that's powerful right there. And yes, again, if you're not, you have to start changing your mindset, become that action taker, making sure that it can get even better and you can grow to even higher limits. You know, there's that limits that people put on themselves. Break through them, make it happen, grow, continue to personally develop. Now, Sam H., is there any final thoughts you can share with us today?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure meeting you both. This was an awesome call. I learned a lot and great conversation. If there's one thing I could say, it's just work your butt off. I mean, it's crazy because like literally 2 years ago, I graduated high school, and I got my own apartment. I drive a BMW, not to brag, but like
Right, no.
No, kid, no, brag, Sam. You know why? Because there's very few 20-year-olds. There's very few 20-year-olds that can say what they're doing. There's very few of your generation that are getting up every morning, hungry as hell to do what you're doing, and that is not something to brag. It's something to look up to. Listen, if I could put my brother today is graduating. Actually, I missed his live graduating because I'm jumping on here. My baby brother is graduating today from high school, the smallest one from all of us. That kid, I cried, writing a text message because that kid himself doesn't know what it is to be a child, because at the age of 13, he was working with my dad for the family business. Mm-hmm. He's not going to go to college. He wants to expand the businesses my parents have done and trifold it. There's not many kids like you and him that are thinking that way, man. So brag more, kid. I want to see that all over the world. Brag it.
Yeah,
sorry, finish.
I think the best decision I ever made was to not go to college and just work my ass off. It's just what it comes down to is I literally have nothing else to do besides work. I mean, I have no wife, no kids. All I got is this dog. Take him out like 3 times a day, feed him. But that's part of my value proposition. It's just I'm gonna work my ass off, because if I don't, I'm just gonna be bored.
So true, very true.
So just work your ass off. There should be a book. Now, when you were talking, Sam, I was thinking there should be a book about just taking action and working hard. That's it. Like that's the ultimate self-help book. Maybe read a few.
2 pages. Take action. Do it. That's it.
Read a few. Think and Grow Rich. All those books, they're great. 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson. They're great. But anyone can read the 12 Rules for Life, but who can implement them the best is the question. Things like that. So just work hard. I know it's cliche, but I mean, I literally,
it works.
I wouldn't have even thought that my face would be on a $900,000 house. Like that's insane, So, I'm grateful and blessed and I did it just by work.
Bigger and better things coming your way as well, because you are putting that work in, Sam. That's awesome. Sam Mena, how would you, any final thoughts?
You know me, I could talk forever, so I'm going to keep this very short and simple. 2 of my main quotes that I go out there, one that have become my tagline. The first one is keep the main thing the main thing. And as long as you keep the main thing, you will succeed. Mm-hmm. And everybody's main thing is different, so keep it. That's something that's stuck with me since I was a freshman in high school. And the last one is something that I've learned, and it's become my saying is be better than yesterday, but not better than tomorrow. And that's something that I leave everybody with. Thank you, Sean, for first off, you've been a very big blessing in my career since I started, and always to give me the opportunity to come here and talk, and I've matured a lot, and I've learned a lot from you guys, and thank you for making the connection with Sam. After this, Sam, expect a phone call from me because there's a lot of knowledge you have, man, that I wanna pick your brain, and obviously vice versa, man. If you want, I'm always here. I always tell this, I might not be working in the same place with you, but I'm always here to share free knowledge, man. And that's what it is. Knowledge is power. The last one I leave with you guys is this one is, in life, there's only two ways you get ahead in life: by the books you read and the people you meet. And today I met one great guy. I mean, I already know you, Sean. You're a great guy already, but I met a new guy today, and if anything, I became richer today just from meeting you, Sam. There's a lot of information I'm gonna gather from you, man, and that work ethic is just incredible. 2 years, man, like that's impressive.
Powerful.
That, man.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it, man.
No, guys, I appreciate you guys. You guys drop some massive value. Yeah, if you can improve by 1% every single day, you're doing something right. And you just try things, try different things. If it's worried about your weight, if you're worried about making phone calls, you're worried about doing open houses, building your brand, you have to just try it. We made mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. Just don't have them happen again. Reflect on them and always be connecting, always talking, having conversations, because you never know where it's going to go. It's so so powerful today, and more than anything, to build relationships. That's how you'll have less time to make phone calls, because you're going to have phone calls with people calling you because you don't have to worry about making those outbound, or you have somebody else doing for you. So I definitely appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy day just to drop some massive value for us today. And if you guys need anything, don't hesitate to call me anytime. And we definitely will do this again. We'll get together live at some point, in person, whenever this pandemic kind of tames itself. And guys, I hope everybody reaches out. Sam, how do they get in contact with you? Mena, what's your cell phone?
732-362-6749. But if you want to reach me, just go to 833-ASK-REWA. That's 833-ASK-REWA.
And Sam H., how do they get in contact?
Best way to reach me would just be email, samhproperties@gmail.com. I'd be happy to help anyone in any way possible.
Awesome. I hope everyone has an awesome day.
All right. Thank you. Sean Ziem, the Connection Machine.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys.
That's it.